and welcome to another exciting video. Today we'll be learning how we can allow external styling of a web component's shadow DOM. So the shadow DOM protects your components from style conflicts. This is something which we explored in our previous lecture. Now the same protection also makes it hard for users to modify the inner style for their own needs. So in this one, we'll go over 3 ways to define API for a controlled manipulation of encapsulated styles. So here, if we look at our setup, we have a web component, as you can see over here. That's the template, and then we have our hello component over here. Now this basically renders our template into shadow DOM. So this is the line that does that. We also have a paragraph outside the web component with the same class text, and the text within it is we'll learn how to create custom web components. Now finally, over here on top we have our global style defined, where the text class is also defined for the paragraph. Now in the browser we can see this is coming up with the text class applied on the paragraph, and over here the blue one shows from the component that we have, or the template that we have defined. So the blue one is coming over here, slot 2 text goes here. Now the text decoration, we have slightly modified this code. So we have slot 2 and we have wrapped it inside a div so that we can get the underline styling. Now we know that if we target the element over here, like hello world, and we try defining a style targeting that element in a global style section. So here I can go ahead and say hello world, and within that, like over here, we are targeting the hello world component, and then we know that this component basically comprises of a div with the class text. So here I can go ahead and I can try saying div dot text is the class that we are targeting, and then we are trying to override the color. Now the color could be changed to pink, and if I save this and refresh the page, I don't see that change happening over here. The slot 2 text goes here remains blue, not pink. So that means this is not going to work. So let's comment it out for the moment, and let's see how we can allow external change to the encapsulated style that we have within the template. So the first thing that we can do is create a method. Now the method will be created within the component, and as you can see, the component is defined within the script tag. Here we have our component, and we can have a method, let's call it as change styles, and this is going to accept a style. Within that, I can go ahead and target the text element like this using the shadow root.query selector text. That's the class we are targeting, and then we'll loop through each of the styles that we have within the style. Now if I save this and I open up my developer console, and let's select this component. So here we have our hello world, and if I go to console now, we have this change styles method coming up, and if you click on this one, it will show the definition of that method. Now let's clear this and try to set the color over here. So let me scroll down a bit so that we can see the change in color when we apply this. So here we will be going in and we'll say color colon, and then the color will be, let's say, pink. And now if I run this, you can see that the color changes to pink. So here we have these styles, and using this method we are now able to externally change the color of the encapsulated component. Now we can also create certain APIs which will track the changes in the custom element itself, and based on that it can trigger style changes. So here we can introduce few more methods. For example, we'll have our observed attributes method applied over here. So this is going to keep a track on certain attributes, whether they are being changed or not in the DOM. And we have two such attributes now, color and text decoration. Now to make use of this, we'll have another method called attribute changed callback. So the attribute changed callback accepts attribute, then old value, new value, and the change style method is being called then over here. So we are passing the attribute and the value. Now to check this out, we can simply go to elements. Over here you can see hello world. If I go in and let's edit this HTML, over here I can go in and say color is equal to, let's set it back to pink, and if I go out now you can see that the text changes to pink. Similarly, I can edit it again and introduce another attribute. Text decoration is equal to underline. So here we have underline, and if I go in and change it to overline, you can see that is changing. So that's how we can do it using JavaScript. So we have our change styles method, then we have the observable over here, and then we have this attribute change callback. Now we can also do it using a CSS way as well. To do that, in our global style, where we earlier had this hello world div text, what we can do is we can create certain variables. Now these variables can then be utilized in our internal styles that we have defined. Now to target variables, what we can do is, let's uncomment this for a moment, and over here we have the component name, and then over here we'll have the name of the variable. Let's call that variable name as text color, and here the value of that text color is set to pink. Now where you're setting it internally, so this is the style which is within the template. So over here we'll make use of the var, and now this var allows me to put this text color over here. Now once I have this text color, I also have the option of specifying a default value. The default value I can put as blue. Now if I save this and run it, you'll notice the color that is coming up over here is pink. If I get rid of this style altogether, I'll be defaulting back to blue color, as you can see over here. So that was how you can update inner styles or the encapsulated styles from the outside.